Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I want to take a look at the Caran 15 Gouache Studio set, and obviously I want to show you what they can do. We're going to swatch them as well. So without further ado, I already took a look, so I'm not going to act all surprised, okay? I'm very impatient. I can't wait until I film the video. Now this comes with this paper sleeve. It has like a color chart inside, but I'm not going to use that because it's not the same layout as the colors in here, and I don't really see the benefit of it. And I kind of want to do a little bit more than swatch the colors like this. Doesn't come with a lot of information, basically just says that it's a combination of gouache watercolor, like it says 2-in-1 water-based paint, gouache and watercolor, unique manufacturing procedure for an unparalleled pigment concentration, natural plant-based binder with no plasticizer, so it's not like acrylic paint. And the natural plant-based binder, I think, is supposed to make them very rewettable, which of course they need to be if they come in pans. 16 bright semi-opaque colors, watercolor effect possible, good light fastness, also available individually. So I've watched a few of these unboxing videos and first review videos, and apparently you can't find a lot of information on the website either. It is a student quality set, and yeah, that's basically what we're looking at. I really like the box. It feels kind of nice and sturdy, you know. Okay, so let's take a look at the thing that I don't quite understand, that I already took a look at and I just don't get it. We don't really get a leaflet, we just get this thing that says that Caran has provided bright colors for over 100 years, so that's nice information. That's the thing that I don't get. What is that? It's stickers, it's transparent stickers of a Caran gouache tube and a pen and crayons and wax pastels. Am I supposed to paint something, put the stickers on top, and then see them? Like, I don't get it. Do you understand this? If you do, please let me know. I have no idea what this is supposed to be about. Now, from other review videos, I already know that the brush is actually kind of nice to use. It has, you know, keeps a nice point, and yeah, has a good snap to use for gouache. It's a size 8 and says Caran on it. And yeah, I'm kind of happy that I have this one because I don't know if I have one in this size yet. So that's kind of cool. Then we have the pans in 14 colors and a tube of white. And as is the case for a lot of student quality things, the gouache white is nothing to brag about as far as I hear. But I heard a really good tip from another YouTuber. If you want to upgrade your student grade gouache colors, one very good thing to do is to just replace the student quality white with an artist grade white. And I happen to have the Horadam gouache titanium white by Schmincke. So we're going to kind of compare the two whites with each other as well and kind of see what they can do to bump up the colors. In case you're new to gouache, you basically use a tiny bit of white with the color to increase the opaqueness. So if you use them straight out of the pans, obviously because they're in pan form and not from tubes, which are more pigmented to begin with, they're not going to be super opaque. But yeah, I'm foreshadowing. Let's get into it. Alright, so I activated the brush a little bit. It's now nice and soft, and I activated the colors by spraying them with a little bit of water, so that's why they look like this at the moment. And I prepared a little bit of color chart. I don't know if you can see. I think you can see the top one. Very nice. And let's just swatch the colors without white first. So we're going to just... Ooh, I like the creaminess already. Nice, okay. In the top one, I think. So that's like one layer. And then here, this maybe? And then maybe some water added, just like this. Does that make sense? Maybe? Okay, let's try it like this. Okay, so far I can already tell it's nothing like the Pelikan colors that I used to use in school. You know, like the Pelikan Deckfarben we call in Germany. Yeah, they're like opaque. I guess they're kind of like gouache. Probably not that that far away from them, but they're definitely a different quality compared to these. Okay. Carmine Lake, let's see what you do. Oh, nice. Oh god, I already enjoy these so much. So I already have a set of student grade gouache paints, but I'm not a fan of them. They come in tubes. They're also from Schmincke, which is a really good brand, which kind of surprises me, and I really don't enjoy them, and I think I want to make a separate video about what I don't like about them. So I already enjoy working with these here much more, even though all I've been doing so far is swatching them. So that should say something, right? Okay, now that we swatched all the colors, what I can say is that some are more opaque in their natural state than others. As far as gouache goes, it is more common that the lighter colors are a little bit more opaque than the darker colors. So in this case, I can say that, yeah, the yellows do a pretty good job. Those two reds as well. The magenta is pretty transparent. The brown and the ochre do very well. The green, the yellow green is pretty good. These colors don't do very well. The gray is pretty opaque, and well, the black I can't really tell as far as the black line goes, but here it looks pretty dark, so very, very nice. Now I want to go on to testing the white in the tube. So I swatched down a little acrylic, like the lines are acrylic too, like a little black patch of acrylic just to see the white. And then I want to mix a teeny tiny bit of white for each color to kind of see how does it increase the opaqueness and how much does it alter the color that I was able to swatch here. So that's, yeah, basically the next step. Let's see. Okay, so I had to do that out of frame because I'm a little limited here, but it looks pretty creamy, the white from this tube. So let's take some of the white without really diluting it with water. We'll add a little bit of water. Like, will it look weird? Or I guess it has a little bit of a streaky quality. I guess always, I'm not sure. But I can't say that I'm unhappy with it or anything. So far, it's an opaque white. Let's see what the colors do with it. Nice. So I heard other YouTubers say that too. The magenta looks very pink, just like a hot pink, not very magenta-y to me. Also, the cyan doesn't really look like cyan. Cyan? Cyan. Now, as far as the success of this experiment goes, I want to say that I'm not so sure if when it's too watery, like when there's no white in there, if it just has a tendency to puddle on the acrylic paint. So maybe some of the, non-stickiness, like here in the yellows, you can just see streaks of the black shining through, but other areas a little more opaque. So I just don't know if maybe the paint just doesn't want to stick to the acrylic underground. So that's just something that I guess I need to take into consideration when evaluating this. But I do find that if you add a little bit of white, it gets so creamy that it just has no problem sticking on top of the acrylic. It's very, very nice to see here in the malachite green. But I would also say that the malachite green is not very opaque to begin with. It's kind of funny about the cyan is that it looks purple as the pan itself. It's only when you activate it with water that you get to see what the color is underneath. And when you mix it with a little bit of white, it gets a little bit more cyan-y. But this without the white does not look very cyan to me, but with the white, yeah, I can get on board with that. Okay, so now we want to do some tests with the two whites. I am going to compare these two, mixing them with different colors from the palette, but then also just swatch them on a black piece of paper. Well, I didn't have a black piece of paper, so this is again primed with acrylic paint. I'm not sure if this is really the best surface to do the swatching on, because I don't know if it really likes to stick to the surface, but we're going to work with what we have. All right, let's do this. First of all, I want to say I do think that the Caran d'Ache white is very creamy from the swatching, I can say. And it's been on my palette for definitely over half an hour, more than an hour. And it's still nice. And let me show you. The white is here. Obviously, there's some colors mixed into it, but yeah, can I poke it maybe with the brush? It is still wet and juicy. And that's also something that I have not found in a different tube white that was student quality. So I will say that I kind of like this one. Now in comparison, when you take the Caran d'Ache white and put it in a pan, it's a little more dry to begin with, but then again, this tube I've had for several years, so I don't know if it just dried out in the tube a little bit, but I would say that's a little bit of a, it's not a huge difference, but maybe a little bit of a thicker consistency. But I mean, it reactivates very, very nicely with water, and even when after it has dried, you can reactivate it. So that's the nice thing. What you see here on the palette, if you must know, this is the other student quality gouache paint. It comes out with a lot of binder separation and it's flaky. It's very hard to reactivate. I really do not like the student quality, but that's a completely different topic. Okay, so this is the Caran d'Ache. We already swatched that over the acrylic on the swatching chart thing that I made, but for a comparison we'll do again. So this is the Caran d'Ache white, relatively opaque. I can have a feeling that's a tiny bit streaky maybe. It's not something I find terribly frustrating or anything. So then when you add a little bit of water to it, make it a little bit more watery, then yeah, it gets a bit more streaky, and we saw it dry down on the colored swatch chart, and it just does not look very pretty when you add too much water to it. It's not like a nice, it's not a nice flowing paint when you add too much water to it. And compared to this, the Horadam white, yeah, I can already tell. Like I had to add a little bit more water to activate the paint a little bit. And I can definitely tell a little difference. I kind of have a feeling that it'll dry more opaque. Try to get a tiny bit more on here. Let's add some water. Okay, maybe that was a bit too much. Yeah, but even if I add, like I just dipped the brush in water, and even then, so it still seems to be pretty nice. If we add a lot of water, well, I just want to see what it does when it's dry, but it seems to, there's just a lot of pigment on the brush, I guess. So, yeah, when this is dry, let's see what it does. Like this seems to not really like to adhere to the acrylic so much, so this is a bit creamier. I don't know if I put too much water on it. It's very hard to control the amount of water that you put into stuff when you try to compare them. But anyway, this is what we have. So this is now magenta with Caran white. So that has more white in it now. Then let's try the cyan. And the yellow with the white. Yeah, I'm really not sure if I like the acrylic as a base layer. But I mean, that's a separate issue. It looks nice. Okay, it's not completely dried yet. Obviously, I just applied it. I'm not sure in general if I like the acrylic as a base layer for gouache. But from what I can see from this teeny tiny swatching test, I don't see a gigantic difference between the two gouaches. So again, this is the Horadam, and on the left side we have the Caran white. The Caran white, I don't know, this is not as pigmented as you can see. Even if I add a lot of water, there's still a lot of coverage from the Horadam white. I don't know, it's still a little wet, so it's hard to tell. I guess I would have to really see what it does in a painting to really see a difference. But from what I can say so far, I don't hate it. I really do not. There's of course always a little bit of human error when you're swatching. You know, you're not adding the same amount of water to every mixture, and you know, when you're comparing two brands, it's a little bit tricky sometimes. Added a little bit more white now. This side. Yeah. So this is a little bit more watery for comparison. Like if you compare those two swatches, there's more water in here. That was like the first try. So yeah, don't get too hung up on that, I guess. Okay, so for what I can say is that I really enjoy the Caran white, and I can't say that I prefer the Horadam white over it, based on the swatches obviously alone, because I haven't done anything else with the Caran white yet. But I really enjoy it. It lays down very nicely, and yeah, I really like it. Okay, so this is Next Day Steffi. I just wanted to give a little bit of a conclusion. I really like the Caran in general, and I really like the Caran white in comparison with the Horadam. I want to say that the test that I tried to do here with the acrylic underpainting was probably not the best idea, just because the Horadam white, it's an artist gouache. So there's designer's gouache by Schmincke, but they also make the artist gouache, which is the Horadam. And I think the designer's gouache just has more of a tendency to lay down flat, whereas the Horadam wants to do like the watercolory effects. And obviously on the acrylic underpainting, you can't really do that. Whereas the Caran white, it came out of the tube so creamy I could apply it without adding any water. But even when you add water, it doesn't really want to do what the Horadam white is trying to do. So I don't know. Both of these were not very happy on the acrylic underpainting, I would say. And I think you would have to test something differently to really see what these two whites can do on a darker surface. But if we just look at the white paper here, I do really like both of these whites, and I really like the Caran colors in general. I played around a little bit yesterday after filming the swatches, and I made this not very ambitious Christmas card for my aunt. I just played around with them, and I really enjoy them. So I think what I want to say is that if you're looking for a student grade gouache set and you like the convenience of pens, most definitely try the Caran. There's really nothing that I can say where I feel like this is a complete disaster and this is not working. I mean, I'm not a huge connoisseur of gouache colors. I have not tried very many brands, but if you're looking for a student grade set, most definitely give these a try. And with that being said, I hope you found this helpful, and stay tuned for more gouache paintings in the future. Bye!